of those components in yellow is 0, is there any risk?
Components in yellow, like these?
Yeah, like if there is no impact, like if there's no cost, there is definitely vulnerability and there's a high likelihood, but it doesn't incur any cost.
So
is there a risk?
So if you've got like whatever this vulnerability is, right? It's gonna happen constantly, right?
Yeah.
This is the likelihood is up here.
Yeah.
But there's negligible impact. That's gonna be an acceptable risk. Something that we're just gonna have to deal with. It's like I'm terrible with analogies, but it's like I'm going to move this wood pile from here to here, but I'm deciding not to wear gloves. The probability of me getting a splinter, very high.
Yeah.
You know, I could avoid it. I could put on some gloves and not be, you know, an idiot moving the wood. But, you know, that's
yes.
That's not even a cyber example. I don't know. Again, I'm terrible with analogies. But there you go.
That's great. That's helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, the same thing too. Like, yes, a nuclear bomb could hit us right now. That would be catastrophic. But what's the likelihood? Negligible. So it's something that you're going to have to just deal with.
Higher than it was before.
Right. Higher than it was before. All right. So this is another slide. Here we go. All right. So again, depending on the context of your environment, you need to define these things. And I didn't put this on the slide either, but I do need to say something about service level agreements, SLAs. If you have a low risk event and you decide to accept the risk, the urgency around that is going to be, you know, no action needed. But if you do have a breach or any variety of the 3 levels of incidents that we've defined internally, you do have to assign some sort of level of urgency around it that everyone who is involved with quantifying, capturing, and controlling that risk, that vulnerability, everyone needs to be on the same page and then hold each other accountable. You can't just do this on your own. And you've got to be able to work with someone to say, hey, I need this system patched because of this 0-day that just came out. This is something we need done right away. And then you've got to have the faith in your partners that you work with and your peers to know that they're going to be like, yes, I understand the impact of this. I'm going to get this done right away. Yeah.
Hey, I actually do that. And so part of it, I think, is on my team, at least, we will state the urgency. Like there will be a due date on that card because we work in Agile to tell you need to get it done by that time.
Yeah.
And some things are like within 2 days.
Yes.
Others are you have a month because they showed up on our scans, our Apollo scans or whatever, and we need to remediate them by this date or else we have to file an exception if we.
Is it for PCI? Is it for ASV scanning? So like if you have a credit card environment where you are transmitting, processing, or storing.
No, I was gonna, that's a part of where I work, but that's not the area I work in.
Okay. But yeah, no, it's like that. So and actually that's a good point too, because let's say your team of 10 people who are the maintainers of this environment, and they've already got the next 60 days planned out with their agile methodology, but something does come up where, hey, this high vulnerability was recognized. You need this done. You need to have a little bit of flexibility and wiggle room to handle emergencies like that. So yeah.
Or an upgrade or whatever it is.
Or yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, but SLAs are important as well. Like it can be like, you can do this 60 days from now or next quarter, then whatever. Or it's going to be something that stop the show, we've got to get this done. And everybody has to be on the same page with how that is interpreted. And again, this is really important. Events. So like your average security operations center, within the context of the environment that it's supporting, you may see anywhere from like 100 events a day to over 2,000. When I was at Lehman Brothers a decade ago during the housing collapse, we had thousands of events. And as the economic crisis continued, those events in their frequency skyrocketed. So again, you've got to, yes, it's a barrage of information, but to become really good at doing this stuff, you've got to be able to quickly go through the events and be like, given the context of what happened and what system that got tripped or what I just recognized, is this something that I can put here or do I need to act now? Okay. And then I'll wrap this up because I don't know if I'm on time or not, but I tend to talk fast and that is just what I do.
I think you have till 2:25.
2:25?
So 6.
Oh, I got 6 minutes, perfect. All right, so here's an example. So part of my job is as the cybersecurity operations manager for Frontier is I don't really have boundaries. I can go and test what I need to go and test as long as I have something that I can bring back to my peers and then my leadership and then ultimately to the board to say, hey, I've taken this, I've improved the situation, here are the metrics around it, here you go. So what I did was I went ahead and got my SIDA badge, which is where you, at every airport, that's a major airport, they will have this process where you go through the background checks, you go through the tests, and you are issued a cool badge. Well, I can now escort people through DIA through Denver, and I can drive my car on the runway now. It's really fun. It's pretty cool. And I went out with our stations manager just so he could show me. I didn't want to go by myself the first time, and I was probably annoying the heck out of him because I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. That's a 767. I'm like 30 yards from it. And he's like, focus. And I'm like, okay, I'm focused. But anyway, it was awesome. So anyway, so throughout the whole SIDA badge process, I'm now in like the system saying I'm a safe person, X, Y, Z. And I got this text. Now, I got this text and it says, all DEN badge holder significant information. Here's a link. So this immediately, now even if you weren't in cybersecurity, doesn't this immediately kind of scream scam? This is a fish, this is a fish. Yeah, I'm not gonna click on that, right? If I was an average bear, not in cyber, I'm just like, ooh, no. And I'm hoping, right? That's the process. Well, thankfully I'm in a position to be able to research it, dig in and figure it out. But at this point, this is still an event. It's an event. It's a blip in my day. Let's figure out what to do. Now, given that it was from a shortened number and the way it was written, but the fact that I know how the SIDA process works now, I know who to contact. So I called up, hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, so we informed the associated audience that it was being investigated because we started getting emails into the cybersecurity team. We got phone calls. We had tickets pop up in our ticketing system because people were noticing this and like, what's going on? Like, see something, say something is a very big thing. And if that's not a part of your organization, regardless of the context of where you work, infuse that. So I responded to the emails I got. I called a couple people and said, I reached out to the person who manages our Ring Central and all of our other out-of-band communications for these types of things. Hey, we're seeing this thing. I'm on it. Like, I'll get back to you. I called up the Denver Badge Satellite Office. And I went through all of the awesome, push one to speak to this department, push two to do this. On the phone, finally got a hold of a really wonderful woman who I was like, hey, my name's Beck. I work at Frontier. I got this one text. I think a lot of people got it. And she's like, wait, I already know what you're going to say. Yes, it was us. We sent it out to thousands of people because we wanted to let you know that this part of the airport's going to be shut down for 90 days. So I'm like, oh, well, thank you for verifying that it was true. I'm like, can you also verify the number it was coming from? Because I don't know, depending on the elaboration of some of the threat actors out there, she could have been faking it, like all of this could have been spoofed. So she actually verified it. Okay, now it's an event, I've quantified it, I've measured it, and now I can take the appropriate internal reaction and communicate what I've found. So again, see something, say something, take the right steps to really understand the entire picture, understand the ecosystem from beginning to end, and communicate. And that's what I did. And it was really fun. Let's see. This is me. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn if you'd like. I put the last word on there, being tired, because I am constantly tired. I work full time and I've got 2 little boys as well. And it's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun. Oh, you know.
I have a teen.
Oh, those are fun too.
No, not at this particular phase. Middle school was awful, great for a couple of years, and now the attitude.
Oh, yeah.
It gets better though.
I know, but it's
Once
just,
they reach like the 20s, then it's.
I've heard, I called her mom friend that was older, and I said, I thought it came back. I thought it went away. She goes like, no, it can happen until 25 when the brain's fully mature. I'm like, no!
My older of my 2 sons went through the 3-nager stage, like the terrible 2s, and then the being it's like a small teen.
I know.
And now he's 7 and he has to argue. It does it in a very diplomatic and like seriously manipulative way. Like, I'm proud of him on a certain level.
Maybe you should save some money, or maybe you should start thinking about scholarships for law school.
Or social engineering. Like, that kid is, I know you said yes, or I know you said no, and I know I have my answer. But have you considered it from this angle, Mom? You can't have another cookie before dinner. It's done. Like, stop. But anyway, lovely to be here. Really good to meet you guys. Thanks for interacting with me. That helps my nerves go down. And if you ever want to have a really nerdy discussion about this kind of stuff, it's right up my alley. So reach out.
Thank you.